Welcome to another episode of Disruption Talks, everyone. My name's Mary. I lead the content and brand team at Netguru. And our today's topic is something that makes me very happy. We're going to be talking AI agents, and we're going to be talking specifically about building an AI agent that helps sales. An AI agent that we've already built here at Netguru, and we're just in the process of onboarding the whole company to the new tool. I have two fantastic people with me here today, Patryk, R&D lead here at Netguru, and Krystian, who's leading the AI consulting team at the company. And they are the best people to talk about this solution because they are the people behind it. So basically, please tell our audience what you guys were up to in the last couple of months, and why are we even talking about it in the first place?
I can go first. We're talking in the first place because we believe that there is a huge need of practical AI applications. So everyone on the market is, posting something on LinkedIn, talking like, okay, AI agents or assistant may streamline the process, which is kind of, okay, what does it mean? So we really wanted to implement something very practical on many layers. So the first layer is, of course, using something that will be suitable for the user in our business environment, the user meaning employee. So this is like the internal tool. The other layer is something like using the solution that will be a modern agent technical, implementation. And then, of course, lesson learned, or basically how to implement AI in your environment, and still to find something that will be super practical for our daily basis. Because, as you may know, people are saying a lot of buzzy words about AI, but it really lacks of practical implementation. Everyone is using, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, but okay, how to, do this extra next step and really implementing that, right? So this is why this is all about that.
So we wanted to try out our own AI agent, of course, and actually this is not the first one, but what was the problem we wanted to approach? What was the problem you wanted to tackle with this one?
So maybe just before Patryk will jump in, just to give you a little bit of background why we needed that in the first place and what is the business environment over here. So Netguru is a software consultancy, right? Software agency, meaning that we change basically coffee to bytes, right? And digits and code, and all based on some general requirements from our customers. It can go either from the inbound sales, meaning literally people are asking some questions like, hey, I want to build next $1 billion, POC or MVP, or through outbound sales. So our very usual business environment means that we have a lot of leads. In our dictionary, they are called opportunities, meaning a new potential project that we will deliver to customers. And probably these are, I don't know, a couple hundreds monthly leads that we are, delivering, more than 2,000 projects delivered so far in total. And it means that this business environment is very fast-paced, changing landscape, basically, right? Everything is changing constantly. Together, me and Patryk, we are working on some new ops, and of course, other people as well, including, not only sales, but also marketing, design, engineering, which means that we had to deliver some solution to help them actually, speeding up the process and give them additional boost in working on actual new ops, so that they will be more effective. And why we had to be more effective, because this is all about time to market, right? So if you are, sending some questions to Netguru, hey, I want to deliver this MVP, please estimate that, right? I'm building, I don't know, new fintech application. it will mean that, okay, we need to work on the estimation process, design process. We need to prepare some roadmap plan, right? And usually this environment with projects is very complex. So you will give us as a customer a lot of context that we need to literally digest. And this is why we are using this tool.
We have requests for information. We have requests for estimates. There's plenty of them coming in all the time, every day. There's people looking into them on the Netguru side.
Yeah, exactly. So there is like literally we call them op teams, opportunity teams. Like people, if we will get a lead, there is some specific team, usually like 3, 5, 7 people that is working towards discovering what it's all about, building the requirements, translating basically the business questions or business inquiries into requirements so that we can propose project approach and so that we can approach the estimation.
Patryk, you want to add to that already?
Yeah, to be honest, I just realized we have totally different perspective with me and Krystian, because Krystian is more working with the clients and the sales teams and stuff, and I'm working with engineers, with operations teams more. And last years, we spent a lot of time researching different AI agents for development for our engineering teams. And right now we have a lot of different tools that they are using and optimizing their work. We know they are saving like hours daily. So we thought about using also AI agents for our operations and sales teams because they don't have anything. I know there are multiple tools in Salesforce, HubSpot. There are already agents. We have agents in Slack, but there is nothing integrated like with all of our tools that we are using. So we just thought, what if we make our AI agent, because we know how to do it. We did a lot of experiments for our developers. We implemented many AI agents for our clients. So the decisions to make our own was, I think, really great because I'm using Omega, our AI agent, like for each case that we are tackling with. So this is like saving hours and not like, I'm not sure how to say it. Not like just, copy paste to ChatGPT and generate something, but it's already within our framework. So it knows where are the files and everything. So I then don't have to like jump from place to place. I have everything in one place.
Streamlining the whole thing. So basically, if you could, either of you explain to our viewers, what exactly does the AI agent do? The name that you mentioned. So basically, the sales agent is called Omega. So what does Omega do?
Yeah, Patryk, you wanna take that?
I will start. Maybe I will start like not technically deep, but like really shallow. So Omega is AI agent. It means that it takes some actions by itself. So we can ask a question on Slack, for example, hey, who are you? And it's able to answer like ChatGPT. But also you can ask about, hey, can you read this PDF file with transcriptions from the call with our client, summarize it, and prepare questions for the next call. So Omega is starting like thinking about that it needs to open the file, read it, analyze it, and create new file with some questions. So here we are on kind of next level. So it's not only like read and write response, but it's read, take action, and then respond with, for example, link to created file. So it's much more complex than standard AIs, and we can integrate it with anything we want. It just, making actions, right?
What are the integrations we're talking about here?
Yes. So right now, everything lives in Slack. So Slack is our interface. You can type a message and send it. And Omega can read Google Drive because we are using Google Drive to handle the files and everything between our operations teams. We are using Slack, obviously. So it can access like previous messages, search for specific keywords in the Slack context. And it has access to Apollo data. Apollo is a service where we can access information about companies' data, how many employees, what are the social media links, what kind of business they are doing. So these are current integrations, and much more we have in our pipeline, because we are thinking about adding HubSpot to manage, the connections with our clients, Salesforce, where we keep information about projects and everything what we've done, and obviously Netguru Memory, our previous approach to AI. So it has access about all few thousand projects that we made in the past, and Omega will search through it and propose next steps based on our experience.
So this is basically like a perfect example of how to incorporate the agents into your existing workflows in the company, right? Because usually, we tend to think about like some gigantic projects, but here it's like keep it simple, stupid. We just use Slack. All the people at Netguru use Slack. It could be also, other system, Microsoft Teams, any other internal communication tools. So this is like, okay, how we could use the tool in the existing workflows, right? We all use Slack, and this is like connecting. And like a little bit like coming back to your questions, why to even do it in the first place? Because as Patryk mentioned, of course, we could use, ChatGPT, copy that window to window, no big deal, right? So why to even, bother with the agentic workflows? And the main thing is that if you have like 400 employees or more or less in the company, of course, everyone is using ChatGPT and Perplexity, right? Let's make it like, clear. Everyone is doing that. But the thing is that they are using that in their own way. 400 people, 400 ways of using ChatGPT, 400 types of prompts, 400 types of experience, basically, right? So, like using this tool, some people will be super, advanced, some will be very basic. This is the first thing. So it gives us the ability to control the actual output quality, because generative AI tools will always provide the answer, but the quality can be drastically different. This is the reason number one. The reason number two is actually something super important, which is the security of your data, right? Because it should be compliant with your regulatory, right? With your intellectual property policy internal in the company. And you don't want to, people sharing some sensitive customer data or CRM data with tools that can potentially, be trained on what you are prompting. So when you will use like a separated AI environment like we do, you can control it and make sure that the quality will be unified across all, employees level. So this is the main reason. And it actually translates, to be frank, not only to the software agencies. Any company that may have some knowledge internally, which is, I guess, 99% of the companies, right? And any type of, agency type business, marketing agency, creative agencies, software agencies, R&D providers or R&D based companies working on some, hardware tools, right? They have their own knowledge sets. They want to use it in a very unified and safe way.
Well, all companies do business, right? Some sort of business. So this is basically
sales,
and some sort of sales. So this is just an accelerator, a super easy accelerate each company can build or get built by some other company. So basically, if you could just sum up, for whom exactly would this be useful?
I can answer for myself. As Patryk mentioned, we have a different perspective. I'm using that. I believe that it will be super helpful for the sales teams and teams that are supervising the process, and basically engineers that works on the requirements, because this tool is giving them additional boost in terms of context switching between. It just can summarize information, super long, discussions, calibrating yourself on that. So when you are switching that, it usually it's related with some energy, effort, time, right? So this is how I use this system mostly. So for me, brilliant for all people related working on inbound sales, basically.
If you want to add something, Patryk, go ahead. If not, we can jump straight to the actual architecture. So what are we talking about here? How did you guys build it? And what happened along the way? I guess this is really interesting for our audience.
Yeah, let's jump to it. So I will share my screen to just show you some of diagrams and everything what we have here. So our AI agent is not like one agent. It's a team. It's a multi-agent environment. So multiple agents are talking with each other to come up with the final message. So we have one, for example, for sales framework. Because in Netguru, we have sales framework with all instructions, how to approach client, how to work with it, what kind of questions we need to ask, what kind of information we need to, for example, provide estimates. So we have everything in one place. So we have one agent that is responsible for all of this knowledge. We have something called what we call primary agent. So this is the main agent that is writing the responses, creating files, reading files, and everything. And we have critic at the end. So this is the agent that is providing feedback and making sure if user asked about something, the final answer is really about it, not something that AI hallucinated, because we need to be aware of it, that it hallucinates. And all of that is connected by AI orchestrator. So this is AI that is selecting. Right now is the turn of sales agent. Later will be primary agent, at the end critic. If critics approves the final answer, let's send it as a message on Slack to our team, right? So we have our AI orchestrator, and this AI orchestrator is also providing us with multiple options because we have custom integrations, we have custom workflows in our work, right? We are not using some generic stuff, but we are working with specific feature list. We already have some processes in our company, right? We are over, I think, 10 years, right? 15 years on the market. So it's already a long history of different processes. So for example, our team is really used to specific like formatted feature list, right? When we want to estimate something, we create feature list, and then we make estimations for each part of it. So for example, right now, Omega is able to take Slack history, Google Drive, Apollo data, based on everything, generate such a list, and then our experts get formatted feature list and is able to work further with it. We don't start like from zero, but first AI analyzes everything, creates feature list for our expert, and then it goes on. For example, we have also idea for expert call suggestions. So when we meet with a client, we need specific people with specific experience, right, to talk. So we want to like discover what is the best person to talk with each client. So we take a look at Slack channel history, our Google Drive, Apollo. Take a look at we take a look at Salesforce with our people, and then we are able to suggest different experts for a call. So for example, if we have a client that wants R&D, it will be obvious I will join. When we will have something about AI, probably Krystian is the best choice in our company to talk with the client, right? So our AI can also like support our custom workflows, right? Custom processes that we have. And at the end, we can even have further like what kind of questions we should ask the client. We have the experts, we know who will join. We might also create a file with the questions based on what we already asked or what client already provided us, right? So this is how Omega is working. So we have different agents connected to orchestrator that is providing different like graphs, workflows. So we are able to handle every case, specific case for our company, but also generic cases, because we have some like empty arrows, let's say. And this is like general answer from our agent. So for example, if we ask, how are you, Omega, it will land here and just answer with generic answer, right?
I guess that also, Maria, very important perspective is how it looks like. So even like literally, you can go a little bit right, Patryk, and show the screen from the interface. So basically, how user sees it. This is like a additional user on Slack. Simple as that, right?
So let's just stop for a second. So the tool we are here in is Slack.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And this is additional team member, artificial team member that you need to invite to specific Slack channel, correct? So in our case, the way how we organize inbound sales, each project or each lead has a separate channel so that we can basically, work on that separately with separate teams. And in this very specific project, you may invite some people related to estimation, marketing, design, product management, so on and so forth, right? And one of the users that you can invite is basically Omega. So this is your one additional team member that you can talk to, boosted and powered by those AI features and orchestrators, as Patryk mentioned.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So here in this example, Patryk is asking the agent to help out with a blog post, but it can be any request, right?
Yes, exactly. I was preparing blog posts to our Netguru team, and I asked Omega just to write a letter, so it can introduce itself, not me introducing him, so it's much better. But also we have like this really generic question, but we can also have, as I mentioned, our custom workflows, right? So for example, how should I prepare for expert call? So this is something that is related to our sales framework, to how we work. It requires Omega to know different files on Google Drive, for example. So it provides me the guideline, like I should review the requirements, prepare a clear agenda for a call, tailor the expert call questions, and so on. But Omega also can do it, right? Because I just asked, how should I prepare for expert call? It provided me with the highlights here. But at each step, I can ask it like further, hey, prepare me questions based on our client requirements, as you mentioned.
The biggest, I would say, improvement over there versus like a regular process is that this tool, when you will add Omega to the specific channel, you may have a huge context of this channel, some previous conversation, attachment, as Patryk mentioned, some project scope, initial requirements from customer. So basically what it does, we can use this basically in all those steps, right? And contextualize those information. We don't need to copy paste that to some chat GPT, let's say, but this is already kind of embedded into our existing discussion, therefore also our existing workflow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and let's be honest, we are not winning client like in few days. It's often like really long process. We have a lot of people working there. Sometimes we have something on hold and we get back after a few months to talk further, and we need to have all the information that's are required here. So we can just like jump and ask Omega.
This is, in fact, at least for me personally, this is the biggest game changer, because some conversation are like 200, 300 plus, messages, and then going back to them after like a couple of months because a customer replied or the project was on hold, and right now they are coming back. It's like literally everyone needs to, read that, go back, search. We all know how, search is working on Slack. Might be a nightmare. So basically it's much easier. And then you can multiply it, right? Because this is not only me, this is some other engineers, architects, designers jumping on the same projects at the same time. So they need to read it again. So this
having everything at hand, basically.
Exactly.
Everything at hand when you need it, where you need it, and whoever needs it. When going back to a request, guys, we've only just implemented the solution, so we're still testing it inside. We're still onboarding people to it. You guys are training everyone, including me, on how to use it. It's not super complicated, but you have to start using it to really see the value. It's like with any other tool. What are the results? Let's talk results.
So I can again tell about it from my end. So we know from some research, we are still gathering the numbers, right? This is still the ongoing project. I know from some other researchers that Slack did, basically similar cases help them to save around 97 minutes per user per week. And I'm totally like +1. Definitely we are around that. And, we are talking here about, highly kind of paid people that we are streamlining their time to.
Let's recap. 100 minutes, around
100 minutes
per user
per user. Yeah, exactly.
Super.
So that's a lot. Of course, not all the people in the company are using that all the time. So this is, in our case, mostly related with projects and inbound sales activities, but a huge improvement. And there is also switch time cost, let's say, right? It usually takes like 10-15 minutes when you're switching between tasks. So it can be also streamlined. So in case of some agent force that Slack, tested, they increased the productivity in 47% in like context switching tasks.
Are people using it extensively already? Please share the truth here, because we're only just starting.
Yes. So we are still onboarding the people, but we already have a lot of people using it and being very happy about it, because you can imagine how easy it's to use it. You already have it at your hands in Slack, where we are working like every day. So it's much simpler than copying, pasting, finding files, finding specific PDF. You can just ask a question and you have it at your hands, right? So to be honest, it saves me hours of work, because I don't have to think where to find specific file for specific client, and so that's perfect. And I hope this year everybody will use our Omega. We are still introducing it. We are adding new features, making it more complex, more intelligent, let's say, because as we add more actions, intelligence is growing, because it's able to do more things more precisely that how we want to do it. Right now, we are also implementing Langfuse. This is specific tool for observability, so we are able to see how people are using this tool. We are seeing what kind of requests they are doing, and we can automatically label it and make sure where are the bugs, where are the hallucinations, and where it really shines. Probably we will share all the information in future about how much time it saves, because it's really hard to calculate, right?
Just now, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has some specific speed of work, right?
And I guess we will also add some more use cases in the future, a little bit more specific use cases as we expand the solution.
Yes.
What have we learned in the process? Because I know it wasn't as smooth as you'd think. I mean, there are always things that fail. There are always things that surprise us. What were the lessons here in this project?
Yes. So to be honest, there is a lot of things that are really hard to tackle, because this is not deterministic system. So if you ask the question, each time you get different answer. And sometimes it's really hard to even tell people how it works. Maybe I will share my screen with a feedback from people. I've just gathered like 2 examples from our team, how Omega is doing. So the first one is that Omega doesn't understand that it has no internet connection and is trying to search Google. This is something we not implemented, because we tackle a lot of private data, GDPR and stuff. So we don't want Omega to paste it in Google, for example. And sometimes our team is just asking questions, hey, can you search me that? And this is the problem, because AI agent and the user doesn't have an idea. They don't have internet connection because they are like trained this way. It has, you can ask ChatGPT and it will try to do web search, right? And here is not the case. So sometimes it's hard to make sure it understands that it has access to specific tools, but not this one. And the other thing is about being assertive, saying no, because AI systems are trained in the way they are capable of doing everything. So by default, they say, yes, great idea, you did great job. That's a fantastic way of thinking, and they are like really positive and proactive in their answers. So sometimes just saying, no, I can do this is really hard to force on AI. So for example, can you find me an email in HubSpot? So AI is trying to hallucinate and to write this email, this fake email, right? Instead of just say, hey, I don't have access to HubSpot, sorry. So that are things that we need to like remember and be aware of, that AI agents are not like capable of doing everything, but they can fool you, right? They are really convincing.
They think they are. This is the thing, right?
This is the problem, right? And we had a lot of more different challenges, especially on technical level, and we made a lot of fantastic decisions. So for example, let me just share also something below. Right now we are working on database. So before we didn't have any database because we decided that we don't need like vector databases to save every message, search through it and stuff, because AI agent can search for it. It can open the file, read the file, find message in the Slack. So it doesn't have to have this whole access, to all the data, to copy everything and stuff. And yeah, we haven't used any vector database till now. Right now, we are designing kind of database that will be connected to everything to make sure AI is not hallucinating. But right now, we don't have it. And this is really interesting because everything in technical world right now is hyped about vector databases. And I know this is really technical, so you can also like take a look at my profile, because I'm sharing everything from technical perspective almost daily. So you can take a look and see how it works on technical level, right?
Okay, if you want to learn more, then make sure you follow Patryk Szczygło on LinkedIn.
Exactly. Some self-promotion, thank you.
So for me, one of the lessons learned and everything that was good by design is actually two things. So the first one, use environment that everyone is, aware of, basically, and used to. So not think about new super fancy interface, but use everything that is, low level available, because using AI usually is related, or implementing AI with a lot of, blocks, people getting stressed about that. They are not used to, use those tools. So basically try to make it simple from the day one in the existing interfaces. And the second thing is basically rather try to adjust AI to your existing process, not process to AI, right? Meaning that what Patryk and team did great from the day one was actually using the existing frameworks, trying to understand how we can adjust this to the existing process rather than walking ways around reinventing the wheel with new processes, because then no one would use it, right? Because our processes are like, some of them are probably like 10 years old and they are working fine with existing business. Help us to win those. It was purely calibrated for winning a new business. So we don't want to change that. We want to adjust the tool as an addition, not like number one process itself.
tools need to be seamless, and implementing them needs to feel seamless. Otherwise, they just won't be used.
Exactly.
So absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through this. I think it makes sense to have a touch base in a couple of months and see where we are and share some tangible results with our audience. Just a note to our audience, we're very happy to answer more questions. So please feel free to reach out to Patryk, to Krystian, or to Netguru, and we'll be happy to learn, to share more. Yeah, let's meet next time in some time. And for the time being, I'm Mary, and let's see each other again during the next Disruption Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.